How you doing today, folks? So today I have a review for you of the Tops Buck CSAR, something like that, T knife. Now this is an ATS, I think 34, ATS 34 steel, which is not the best in the world. This is also not particularly a good knife as far as EDC. Now, before you guys click off the video now, this is actually one of my favorite work knives. Now, this thing locks up like a bank vault. As you can see, that liner lock is way far over there, which just in terms of fidget factor or anything like that, probably isn't the best idea. But I mean, I have put this knife through hell and back, and having that thing all the way over there is just quite an extra security. Now, this has a fully steel frame. Liners, everything else, all steel. It has a G10 scale, milled G10 scale. It's actually very comfortable. Standard Torx hardware. And that's really kind of about it. Now, we also have this very nice lanyard hole, which I don't personally use because, I don't know, man, it just doesn't really fit too well as far as a lanyard. I used to have a lanyard on here, but it just wasn't really my thing. So before we go any further, then we're going to talk about just the scales, right? Now, as far as the ergonomics go, this knife is both fantastic and really poor. Now, when you hold it, it locks in absolutely perfectly. There is really no complaints, right? But the more you start to use it and you get that slight back and forth feeling when you're actually cutting something and digging in deep to it, the way this liner is exposed creates a major hot spot, and it will actually rip open your skin. Now, I've had this to the point where I'm literally bleeding out of my finger without actually touching the blade. It's just this little liner. So it's a weird middle ground, right? Now, normally I tend to wear gloves when I use this knife. Just whenever I'm really beaten on something, I tend to wear gloves in general. So it's not too big of an issue for me personally. Also, I'm talking about when you're working like 6 to 8 hours with this in your hand and you're constantly going at it. If you're going to cut open a box or spend maybe 20 minutes sawing something open or whatever, it's not going to be an issue. This is also a very heavy knife. This is about a 9-ounce knife. And it's about a 9-ounce knife because it has these big, thick, completely unmilled steel liners. Steel is heavier than titanium, considerably so. So it's a pretty big knife. But again, it feels very good in hand. You have that very nice, solid hand feel. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I have no idea how much this cost new. I bought this off the secondary market. I paid $45. Now, I'm pretty sure you can still find these. If not, please correct me in the comment section. And you can also for sure find them on the secondary market because I've seen them there plenty of times. Now, this knife has solid action. Good feel in hand. The scales really are fantastic. They fit very well. But there's a couple problems with this knife. Now, as long as we're talking about the handle, we're going to speak about the handle design. So this has, as you can see, both the actual liner and the liner lock. And because of the way this is designed, this will never not be off-center. And we're talking considerably off-center. Now, if you look at this knife when it's actually deployed, right here this used to be a Tonto, and this hits so often that it warped it to the point where I had to just, basically sharpen it, make it this weird type of drop point thingy, because every single time if you hear that, it contacts the scale. And just over time, in a long period of use, it just starts to tear it apart. And it's a strange choice, right? Because that's a design choice. This piece right here is the liner lock, which then goes all the way down. Now, you can force it and make it center right. Now, it's center right now, but you're also moving this liner lock, which isn't ever naturally going to want to do that. So this is never going to be anything besides off-center. So one of the reasons why I say this is not a good EDC knife, because again, the way the liner lock is, constantly off center, it's a big, heavy ass knife, but I really am going to stop there. Now, this was going to be an EDC knife where you just kind of cut open a box every now and again. I would give this knife a 3. It's not good. It's not good steel. It's not good construction. It's all steel. It's very heavy. There's plenty of problems to it. It's both really comfortable while also being able to physically gash open your hand. But again, if you're doing EDC, you're not going to really use this too much anyways, so it's not really going to be that big of a factor. You're going to round out your blade no matter what you do because of the design choices of what it is. And just in general, it is a weird choice. You can also spidey flick with this, both with the thumb studs and this little hole right here. So there is a bit of a fidget factor to it. You can open it in multiple different ways. But again, it would score very poorly as just an EDC knife. Now, as far as a work knife goes, man, this thing is an absolute beast. I love the different ways you can open it. You want to use a thumb stud, flick it out, roll it out with this, thumb flick it, back flick it. You can front flip it if you want to, though it takes a considerable amount of wrist. You just grab it right there and you have to whip it. It's not ideal, but you can do it if you so choose. Again, feels very good in hand, feels very good even with gloves on. Again, I have 2XL hands, and we have a little bit hanging off, but not very much at all. A whole lot of blade. It is very easily sharpenable, so it's a great field knife. I literally have sharpened this knife with a carbide sharpener, which I literally just carry in my pocket every now and again, which is, horrible to sharpen a knife with a carbide sharpener, to be very clear. It's not by any means ideal. But something like this, and the steel being so soft, I can work this down to where it's absolutely dull, won't even cut paper, and then, spend 45 seconds running it through that carbide sharpener, good to go again. I'm not sure how much this actually cost at retail. But again, you can find these very, very cheap. And if you're looking for a good work knife to process game, to, just to beat up just in general, man, the top CSAR is a fantastic, fantastic knife for that. Now, as far as work uses, this is a very chunky blade, very nice stock to it. These different grinds allow you to pierce a little bit easier, but a bit of a reinforcement to the tip. I've used this knife for a whole bunch of stuff. If you happen to be a lanyard person, it definitely works for that as well. So if you do like big, heavy, kind of chunky folders, now I'm a Medford guy. I very much like big, overbuilt stuff. So for me, this spoke to me immediately. As far as EDC and everything else in between, because I'm just weird like that. If you are a smaller knife person though, and you're looking for a work knife, I cannot stress how perfect this knife is for that task. This is a knife that is absolutely built to work. A collaboration between Tops and Buck, which are both supposed to be work-orientated companies. Fantastic. Really genuinely have no complaints. As far as an EDC knife for the EDC crowd, probably a 4, which means it would be a 40 out of 10. As far as a work knife, a 95. Now, that is a 95 with the understanding that the steel is soft. It is very easy to sharpen. It's also very easy to dull. Again, this can physically cut you, which should be a deal breaker, but for whatever reason, for me personally, this thing just fits and works and carries, not carries, let's take that back, it carries like shit. But it fits and works and holds so well that it just doesn't matter to me really at all. Also, if you're looking for a deep carry knife, this is definitely not it. You have that much knife sticking out of your pocket, about that much knife sticking out of your pocket at any one point in time. So almost half of the knife is out of your pocket. That's a weird choice, but they just had to have this little lanyard hole, which could also double as a hex driver if you so were in that bad of a need, I guess. But just in general, as far as a work knife, I cannot stress how enjoyable this knife is to use. If I ever have to just really, really beat on something, I always go to this, and it's never let me down. This knife is a couple years old, and it has gone through hell. There has been sharpened a whole bunch of times, unevenly, because again, carbide sharpener. It has bits of packages of rust on it. The logos are almost completely worn away from years of carry and use. It is an absolute beast. So if that appeals to you, again, I'm not sure if it's really worth the full market price. Not even sure what that is. It might be perfectly worth it. But as far as what you can find on secondary, I've seen this exact knife go for $10 before. Again, I paid 40, but maybe about 6 months ago on our knife swap, which is a sub community of Reddit. I've seen this go for $10. If you can get this knife for $10, jump on it. $20, jump on it. $40, jump on it. $60, jump on it. $70, probably think twice. But anything under that $70 price point, which again, I'm like pretty much almost 100% sure you can find this. It is a fantastic, beastly, amazing feeling work knife with no real hot spots besides, again, this piece right here. But again, it takes a while to get there, and while you're getting there, it just feels perfect in hand. It's a fantastic knife. I very much enjoy it. It's one of the few budget knives that I own, and it's one of the ones that I absolutely love, and it has stuck around for a long time, and I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. So as always, I love you all very, very much. Thank you for your time, your likes, your subscribe, your support, your comments. They mean the absolute world to me. And please do me just this one favor. Do the best you can to be a better person tomorrow than you are today. And I do promise you'll find your center in life. Thank you for your time. Take care, folks. I appreciate you all very, very much. And please, please, please do the best you can to be positive. There is this weird culture of hate on the internet nowadays. Don't give in to it. Love one another. It doesn't matter if you're anonymous or if you're in person. Treat everybody with respect, and things will be so much better. Thank you for your time. Take care, and bye.